Simplify 2/3 times x minus 3 plus 1/2 times x plus 2. Here we have a problem where we have to distribute and combine like terms, but now we have fractions to deal with. So here we need to distribute the fractions. First we'll distribute 2/3. 2/3 times x is 2/3 x, and then minus 2/3 times 3. If we multiply this 3 into the numerator, 3 times 2 gives us 6, and 6/3, or 6 divided by 3, gives us 2. There's so many different ways to do this multiplication problem, and I want to go over them really quickly. We'll ignore the negative for a moment. If we're taking 2/3 times 3, one way that you can multiply a whole number into a fraction is to multiply it into the numerator. So 2 times 3 is 6, and then 6 divided by 3 is 2. That's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is to notice that 3 is technically the same as 3 times 1. So this 3 is in the numerator, and we can cross-cancel with the 3 in the denominator to get 2. Another way of looking at it is that 2/3 times 3 is the same as 2/3 of 3. If you have $3 and someone takes 2/3 of it, they've taken $2. So these are all different ways of multiplying a whole number times a fraction. In fact, there's a fourth. If we take 2/3 times 3, you could start by taking the whole number and dividing by the denominator if they're divisible. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and you can multiply that by 2, and 1 times 2 gives you 2. So there are really 4 different ways that you can multiply a fraction times a whole number. It's a good idea to get comfortable with at least a couple of them so that you're prepared in any situation. So we've done the first distribution. Now we need to do the second distribution. We need to take 1/2 and distribute it. 1/2 times x is just 1/2 x. And then plus 1/2 times 2 is 2/2, and 2/2 is the same as 1. You can use any of these methods to multiply, and you should end up getting 1. I encourage you to practice a couple of these methods to make sure that you're comfortable with them. And now we're at a position where we can combine like terms. Let's look at the x terms first. To combine the x terms, we need to take 2/3 plus 1/2. We need to combine the coefficients. I'm going to do that over here. 2/3 plus 1/2 can be done with a common denominator of 6. 2/3 becomes 4/6 because we multiply the bottom and top by 2. 1/2 becomes 3/6 because we multiply the top and bottom by 3. 4/6 plus 3/6 is 7/6. So when we combine the x terms, we get 7/6 x. And then when we combine the constants, -2 plus 1 is -1. So we end up with 7/6 x minus 1 as our final answer.